G'day, I'm Will Hamer and this is Driven, the cars and the people. Every week I sit down with people who took the harder road and have something worth saying. The wins, the scars, the mindset. If that sounds like your kind of conversation, you're in the right place. All right, today I'm sitting down with Jacob Decru, Sole Director of Loan Market Connect, one of Australia's top 25 most productive brokers and part of businesses that have settled over $2 billion in home loans. About a year ago, he made the move to rebuild under his own brand, grew a team of 20, and did it all while becoming a new dad. We get into the consistency, the calendar, the mental side of business, and why he still backs the phone call over any piece of AI or tech. He shares a secret behind his growth habits, the 10 before 10 rule, and his car journey from a Mitsubishi Magna to a new Land Rover Defender V8. But allegedly, that's my fault. Let's get into it. Tell me a little bit about yourself. Where'd you come from? How'd you get into this game? Tell us a little bit about your business.
So it's been a bit of a journey. I've been a mortgage broker for 12 years. Started off at Ray White in Ferntree Gully, started off as a trainee. Prior to being a broker, I was working at Bendigo Bank, just at branch level.
Why Bendigo?
Worked at a local footy club. So played at a local footy club. And then one of the people there worked at the Bendigo Bank and got me a job there. Before that, I actually did a graduate program at Accor Hotels in doing finance. Mm-hmm. And that's what made me realize that I liked numbers, but I just didn't want to just work with numbers. I wanted to work with people as well. And that's literally how I got into mortgage broking. I actually did a traineeship for 6 months. It nearly broke me in terms of it was one of those ones where, because I was out of a real estate office, it was just a shitload of calls, which is probably what's conditioned me today. The journey from that is then got off the traineeship, joined business with Matt Sims down there, who he actually had the mortgage broking business, and then obviously some other partners got involved in that over time, and then that went really well, and then Simsy exited that probably a couple of years prior to the next stage is when me and the second business partner parted ways, which was probably about 18 months ago. And then, as you said before, we've had Connect nearly up and running for 2 years now, and obviously been in this office with you. So, been a bit of a journey, but I suppose that's high level. There's bits and pieces throughout to probably unpack, I guess.
It's interesting. I've only met this guy a couple of times, and obviously everyone says great things, but Matt Sims seems to be sort of connected to a lot of really successful people, right? And he's sort of, in the real estate game, and Ray White, he's very well known and respected, and he seems like he's sort of he seems like he's been a bit of a mentor to a couple of people, right? Obviously, a couple of people I've talked to as well.
Definitely for me. Like, again, he's the one that's probably given me a crack at the start. Obviously, I started the traineeship with them under there. But, like, I guess, funny actually story with him is, so it's Matt Sims. I think when I called him, I left a voicemail. I called him Matthew Sims, and he pretty much said that he nearly didn't call me back. So that would have been a different path for me if that didn't happen. But for him giving me the chance, that's obviously why I'm here today for that. But he is what I would probably say, like a very strict, structured process kind of guy. And then in terms of, you can joke around with him, but you know when he's being serious at the same time. So he did that really well with a lot of people. And what he's done is he set up multiple businesses with people and mentored them and kind of exited his way through. So he's definitely touched a lot of people along the way in terms of guiding them to their next career and where they're at today. Like, even look at Ray White Ferntree Gully. Like, obviously he's the one that created that coming through. But coming back to that question, was more, the shit that I've learned from him in terms of just structure, processes, and just following them through. I still talk to him today, still reach out to him. He still helps me with a few things as well. We even do catch-ups, and it's just he's got a different view on things that other people that I've spoken to over time, which is, and again, I suppose I listen to him because I respect him with how much we've been through over the years.
So would he be a bit of a mentor for you?
Correct, 100%. Yeah, I would agree with that. And if I have any questions on stuff too, like not every type of thing on business, but there's certain areas that I definitely would reach out to him for. And that's probably something that I've learned over time is, there's not one person that's going to help you with everything along the way, but if you can find that you relate to someone in terms of what they're doing, like the biggest things that like he's kind of helped me with is like, one of the biggest things that I changed early days was like the structured broker, I suppose I like to call myself now, and that is calendar's just freaking everything. And if you're not going to stick to it, then it's not going to work. And like, it was just more stuff that we went through around putting boulders, stuff that's movable, color coding. And to me, that's kind of, which we can go through a little bit later on, is the structure of setting up your day
Mm.
is everything to me, because then I know that you've achieved. Because it's like you speak to other brokers and stuff, and they're like, they say they're busy, but everyone is busy. But then you look at different people in terms of what they're fitting in within their day,
Yeah.
and it's like imagine waking up all those people that think they're busy, which they are in their right. But if you could make them more structured and more efficient and productive, they would do so much better.
Yeah, if I had to summarize you with a couple of sentences, it would be, or even just words, it'd be relentlessness, consistency. And honestly, like that for me is, I find that really hard. I find consistency one of my biggest things I need to master. And some days, even running a couple of businesses, like I still come to work and I sit there and I go, okay, what do I do first? Like, what's today? Or I leave the day and I go, I feel like I didn't have much like flow state today or consistency. And then I look at you and you do, every time I look over into your office, it's, you're on a, and a side note, I know you're trying to sort of break away from that day-to-day grind,
Yeah.
that old broker stuff, but you are still so in the detail, relentless, consistent, calls. You're still in the trenches a little bit, which is good. And I think it's interesting to see his perspective on it, but you don't need to, like, it's good to have your finger on the pulse still, right? But consistency, keeping a calendar that's like ironclad. Are they just some of the, like when things get a bit much for you, you go back to those basics? They're the things you never waver on, you never change?
Yeah, so my calendar's set, and it's structured. Again, I have my certain days where I know I've got more flexibility. Like right now is my more flexible days is Tuesdays and Fridays. Like Monday mornings or up till lunch, it's my one-on-ones with the team, and I do them fortnightly with them. I just still do what you're saying. I've got some client meetings. I do 5 a week still, and they will be done between that Monday and Wednesday and a bit of Thursday. But like my whole week's kind of planned out. What I've recently done is freed up a little bit more on my Tuesdays and Fridays, because I'm trying to now evolve more as a business owner in terms of I'm not just more client focused. So it's more about building the team. I'm now having to go out with Sonny, who's our partnership manager, around referral partners and seeing them, and probably more around the growth. But yeah, so my biggest challenges is probably getting off the tools to a degree, but I still want to do 5 because I actually love that part, and I want to stay. And my theory is, it could be wrong, is I want to be able to stay on the pulse for our brokers around what's happening, what's going on. And then when I'm doing my training with them fortnightly, that I can see what's happening. And then it makes me also have to stay relevant with policy, have to stay relevant with rates.
So I'm going to ask you something. I'm going to stop you. Where do you think that comes from? Like, why do you do it? Is it discipline? Is it a bit of fear? Is it a bit of like anxiety, obsession? Is it something deeper? Like, where does that, you know what I mean? Like, for you to come in every day and keep, like, you're going to wake up and go, I don't want to do today. Like,
Yeah, but you just
roll over, right? Some days.
You're true. I just know that if I stick to a structure, it will work for me. I'm in a better headspace. And again, I have to know that we keep growing. The minute that I know that we're plateauing, I'm in a worse headspace. If I know that I don't have the structure in the day, I could probably sit there and you could literally get to the end of the day. This is before I was probably more structured. He's like, what the fuck did I do today?
Yeah.
But if it's in there, it's making you do stuff, or, I want to put in there that I'm going to do an hour and a half call session to call through some old clients and stuff like that. And then it's in there. I know I've done it. For me, it's probably knowing that I've gone through the day, I've achieved it, and then I know that we're growing to something. Whereas if I'm just going through day to day as a motion, not knowing what I did, that's mundane, boring. So I know probably people might say structure's boring. But what I also talk about structure is I'm going, okay, what do I want to focus on for the next fortnight? Okay, I want to make sure that I see 3 referral partners, or I want to make sure I do this. Then knowing that you've achieved it is awesome. But if you're just going through the whole week and it's just the same shit every week, so even when I'm talking about structure, it's not the same stuff. I've got the boulders in there, but I'm allowing myself to put stuff in there as well.
So people sort of watching and listening, you might have business owners, you might have, employees, and they're in sales roles or not so much either.
Yeah.
Like, the calls, picking up the phone, that sort of mental block that, on those days where it does, it's today, it's miserable, it's hailing, and it's probably a bit of a downer of a day to wake up and go to work, right? Like what makes you keep doing that when you genuinely don't want to do it? Like, what's your motivator there? And how can people sort of...
Probably the first part is I got conditioned to the phone calls. Talking about that thing before with Simsy with a trainee, I did it for 6 months, and I just made a shitload of calls for 6 months. And it's just kind of like me probably making 30 calls in a day is like nothing, and I'm conditioned. And when you first do it, you actually get to the end of the day and you're just like brain dead some days, and you're just like, okay, I'm numb from doing all that.
Yeah.
Well, okay, probably kind of, why do I do it? I just know that it's making us grow and we're going better. I also too I prefer a phone call than an email. I hate it when people go back and forth on emails. My team will probably laugh at me because if they send me more than 2 paragraphs, I just call them because it's not me. Like, I think calling is more efficient, but it's more, you're building a relationship with someone. But then I know that if I'm not making the calls, the business is not growing.
Yeah.
I just know that from early days, I don't know if you've heard of the 10 before 10. So you speak to 10 clients before 10 o'clock, and that was probably one of those ones. And over time that builds up. But I suppose, and then I ask myself is, yes, I would prefer to make a call than send an email.
Yeah. I like that. I mean, and that transcends into any industry, right? Like we sort of come to work, and I think as tech gets more and more, advanced, and AI and all that sort of stuff, like we're going to rely on tech pretty heavily, and it's going to be, it's going to be one of those things that will do a lot of that automation and the personal contact. The phone calls are so exciting. We're the same in our team. It's probably more of a, we need to move quick, never stop, bogged down. Like the emails you get bogged down, and the calls are they're invaluable, right? Because they're going to build a relationship with that person as well as get the objective done as well, right? So I like that.
Because with the tech stuff on that,
Yeah.
I honestly think we're going to get to a stage where it is going to get a lot more techie, a lot more. And so we're looking into that stuff. And kind of what I'm telling my team is, I want to arm our team to be more productive, but I want the time that we take away from doing all the mundane workflow tasks that AI is probably going to fix is, let's get on the phone. Like, that's going to be missed. I don't know. My whole theory around business and why the clients come back is that personal feeling, and they're not just a number throughout. And that's why I reckon phone calls are everything. And you can kind of read the tone on people a lot better. You can explain stuff a lot better.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just probably my number one thing.
And I think I love your, I mean, I hear it all the time and I chuckle, but it's, you're calling clients and there's not even a reason sometimes. It's check-in, right? And the voicemails you leave is like, you don't need to call me back. Like, well, what is it? What do you say?
Oh, it's nothing urgent.
Yeah.
Jacob, nothing urgent. If you need anything, give us a buzz.
Yeah.
But yeah, just to kind of touch and base.
And how good's that? Like, so many people don't do that. They don't, circle back and contact their clients just for a hello. And honestly, mate, I think that's one of the reasons why you are so successful in that space.
And it's also like trying to show the guys is what happens is some of them do the few of the calls, but I make that voicemail over like 2 years to a few clients, and then they'll call you after 2 years and go, I've received all your voicemails. Sorry, I haven't called you back, but I'm ready to do something now. But for me, it's not, I just want them to know I want them to come back when they are ready. But generally, if they do have any questions, give us a bloody buzz. That's what we're here to help you for along the journey. But a lot of businesses lose the whole idea of a client's relationship. And that's what I reckon that's where I'm really lucky, and where the business has grown over time is all my clients I would know, a lot about them. They'll call, I can give them information, and they just love the idea that we can talk more like in a, not such a financy kind of way, and they can ask me some questions, and it's a little bit more like it's a good friendly chat where they feel comfortable to ask me questions. And that's what I wanted to build.
And I think I see you and your team, like you guys try anything, right? You've got some tech that you're working on at the moment, obviously, and proof in the pudding is that people coming to you to try things, right? And I think that's a really good pulse check. We've talked about things you're doing right, obviously, and things that are working for you and that you're quite familiar with. When along your journey has there been any times where you've gone into something, you've tried something, hasn't worked, and it's really sort of knocked you around, and then sort of second to that, how did you sort of bounce back from that? How did it make you feel? And sort of how did you get through that?
I reckon there's heaps that I've tried that it's kind of failed and you've wasted time and energy. My actual motto is, if everything was easy and you gave it a crack, then business would be easy for everyone, and it's not there. So like for every business owner, you're probably gonna like throw money away, waste time. 8 out of 10 probably things that you try, and then but once that one sticks, it's definitely worth it. My mindset is yes, if this was easy and everything worked, then everyone would do it. And that's kind of what I tell like some of our guys in our team as well, because a few of them, some hate change, some don't hate change. It's like, why is he always doing it? Because I'm just trying to find that next edge to do something. And I know like I'm always inquisitive and trying shit, and they're probably like, sometimes can you slow down and stop throwing 1,000 ideas?
And you can't get your words out.
I can't get my words out because I speak too quick. But it's I'm just about trying stuff until something sticks. And I know that, because I also know that our system's great. We do some good numbers, but it can always be better. And that's where probably my head doesn't stop sometimes, which could be, it's a good thing and a bad thing.
I think failure is interesting, and it's a big thing. Again, anyone can connect to, because you've got people that have anxiety around making a mistake. So you have that sort of stalling nature of, do I action this? Do I, like, you just freeze, right? You get people like that, and I've definitely been like that. And then I mean, I'm going through a phase where I know, laugh about this. I've got, I think I've said this to you, like, I've got the wall of shame. I've got my shelf of failures, and it's like, I'm a merch guy, so I like merch, with a couple of drink bottles rolling around somewhere here and there. You've probably got a half bottle somewhere, but I've got a lot of merch that of like failed businesses and failed ventures that I've done. It's one of those things I look at and I go, you know what? It doesn't matter if you fuck up. Like, I've as long as people aren't getting hurt along the way, obviously, and you're not, you're not noticeably making big mistakes. Failures, it's as important as winning, right? And you can't even acknowledge a win unless you've got a failure, right? And
But I remember talking to you about this.
yeah,
You only just think that now. At the time, you kind of, that's probably the best way to put it. I think you were a bit more embarrassed to talk about that's happened or this.
hugely.
Whereas like, I'm like, no one's looking at you like that kind of, I look at that going, like from when I was talking to you about going, shit, how good's that you're giving that a crack and it didn't work, but then you've learned from that for the next one and what to do different. It's like what, some stuff that, we've even done together. I've gone afterwards, oh, fuck, I've wasted a bit of energy and time into that. But I'm like, what did you actually learn from it? Going, okay, get back to your core.
Yeah.
Stop doing like putting your fingers in everything at the moment or doing this and get back to that. And then it gives you a new energy on it. And for me, it's kind of like sometimes, even if that failed, it's like, oh, you've actually got a good thing over here. Why are you doing that?
Yeah.
Or I won't stop trying, but I will get better at how I do it. And I'll probably think twice about doing certain things more. And what is the value bring me that going into it? But yeah, it's kind of like what you're saying on that is you would have learned from all of them, but you wouldn't change it to give it a crack.
100%. I mean, there's two things I've learned from, again, I've had a couple of businesses that have done certain things, like niche things, like I had Truck It, right? It was diesel equipment finance.
Yeah.
And I remember I went, I thought, oh, we'll spend $5,000 and we'll do a little stall at I think it was like a equipment expo. And ironically, it was like that year where all electric trucks started to come in, and I was there going, diesel equipment finance, and all these businesses and people were like, oh, that's just diesel, that's so environmental. And I was like, oh God, I've totally fucked this up here. Like I've not hit the mark. And that, that didn't work out. But you know what I did do? I made it online. I learned a lot about marketing online and what not to do. And that was a big lesson. And there's other things we started that haven't worked out. If anything, it's sort of like going to the chiropractor, just readjusts everything. And like you said, you go back to your core, or you learn that lesson. Yeah. And I think, it sounds again so cliche, but you've got to have a crack, right? And as long as you're not hurting anybody, and as long as you're not spending your last dollar, which there's some pretty good stories about people doing that too. Your last dollar on this, you're going to always walk away with a lesson or a growth sort of moment, right?
I try not to overthink something and then just give it a crack. Like prime example is, so my core is resi and commercial finance. Probably more resi than commercial, or definitely more resi than commercial. The way that our teams kind of broke it up is we've got the brokers, we've got the credit team. One of the new things that I've probably given a crack over the last 2 years, which a lot don't, is pretty much a partnership team, which we're trying to help with lead management, referral management for stuff. And yes, that's an investment. And for me, I'm classifying that as a tick at the moment, but they're the kind of things that probably sat on for too long thinking, should I do it, should I not, blah, blah, blah. And one of those ones where you kind of pull the Band-Aid off. But yeah, what you're saying is some stick and some don't, but it's worth, you can't have the mindset of overthinking something because then you won't do any of it. I'm at the opposite end to that is I just give it a crack. I need to think it through before I do it. Not
Isn't it funny? Yeah, it does. Yeah, it is. And isn't it funny, like business owners that have done that and been through that, they're the people you think are like almost judging it, right? Yeah. You're like, oh God, I haven't got that right. Like, but they're probably the people that have done it, and they kind of like go, mate, don't worry about it. Fuck, I've screwed heaps of things up. You know what I mean? And it's funny that those people that you think are judging you, it's usually the haters that would never have a go either. And I don't want to be, but they're not going to be
the ones that always got an opinion, the ones that
always got an opinion, right? So a year ago, obviously, you stepped away from a business that you've been part of for a while. And obviously, great things. Low Market Connect was born. Yeah, you're welcome to help with the name, by the way. A little bit of connection there. We had some good chats about that. Low Market Connect. Obviously, apart from knowing when was the right time for that to happen, for you to exit and all that sort of stuff, but more importantly for you and for people to sort of understand, it's a huge shift, right? It's a massive shift, and you're thinking about a lot of different things at the one time. What people think, what's the impact, it's just FOMO is the right decision. Um, what was that mental adjustment like? And sort of, and honestly, like, were you scared? How did you feel?
I reckon different times of my career, yes, would have been scared and something going through. Obviously with that person for nearly over 10 years. Okay, to answer the question, was I scared? Probably the timing was right for me at the time. So no, I wasn't. It's pretty much, how did I know the time was right? We both kind of come together and just realized that is there value in one another at the moment with what we're providing? Do we see eye to eye?
Yeah.
Do we have different paths in terms of what we're looking at? All tick, tick, and tick. So then we rolled out how that kind of looks. You do hear it all the time that people are in business together and they do separate. You hear the good stories, you hear the bad stories, you hear the kind of nothing ones. My only thing for people that are probably in it is outlining how everything would plan out if there was a degree to go separate ways, as clear as day. Yeah. Just because that just outlines any, one person looking at it from this way, one person looking at it from this way. And then you can both walk away in a good kind of mindset together. But I'm talking, you might have an idea in terms of what something's worth, but also all the little itty-gritty stuff is literally sitting down early days and going, this is what it would look like if something happened. And I know, like, when you go into business with someone, you don't think that you will end up going separate ways. So that's my biggest advice probably on that piece. In terms of then for me, it was it was like a new lease kind of coming out of that in the end. And then it was kind of like, well, I'm ready to do my thing, give it a good crack. For me now, again, would I've changed anything in the past? 100% no. The thing that I would definitely change, would be, as again, outlining what things would look like if you did. But now I'm just more like in that mindset going, I'm going to give this a good crack. And I'm really enjoying it. It's good. Like, since coming out, we've moved the team up to 16 people. We're trying to build something like an attraction for business, for brokers to want to be part of. I'm now rolling out things that I really wanted to do when I was a broker that would have been offered if I joined a business.
Yeah.
And like just little things like, with the brokers. So we've got two models, PAYG and a JV model. The good news is, so if you are on a PAYG, you don't have to leave to set up your business. You can do it within us. I always say we speak to a lot of brokers, and lead management's a thing that's an issue. So we've got a partnership team to help deal with that.
Yeah.
Just rolling out, like, my whole idea is I want it to be not something that's run like I'm this person that's like, this is what we do. I sit down with the brokers, like, all right, let's make some ideas. What would we want to do? What do we want to think? And I kind of want to make it just a good community of us brokers going, we're going to give this a crack.
Yeah.
So yeah, again, my mindset is trying to build that we're all in this together with our brokers, and it's like, how do we all scale this up? And I think that the team that we've got at the moment, we've got a good bunch in there at the moment that are all on the same page, and they're all knowing where we're trying to head. So probably coming back to your initial question is, how am I feeling about it at the moment? Yes, it's been stressful, but I've put myself in that situation by putting more and more people on, and obviously you know how my head is.
Stop growing on these bloody desks, mate. We're running out.
It's funny. we will come in on Monday going, how many more desks do you need, or can you stop filling
mate,
up?
I like it. We've got some pretty informal techniques going.
It's quite fun. I think there was a few times, what have you said that I'm like, no, we're on freeze for hiring for 6 months. And you're like, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. All right, mate.
A month or two later, there's people coming in.
So obviously, this starting from scratch, so to speak, what a cool opportunity, right? Walking into a new business, effectively a new business, but knowing sort of how to run it, how to do it. And that's like, what an exciting time. I guess the only thing you're probably learning a lot of, and I know we chat a lot about this as well, is sort of being a leader of leader of the pack, and learning more and more how to be a leader. No one will ever stop learning, obviously. But what have you sort of learned in the last 12 months as a leader? And what's your, I don't want to say style of leadership, but like, what have you learned about yourself as a leader, and what works?
So I was actually talking to Andrew McNaughton about this recently. Being like just a situational leader, like a different leader for different people, is probably the biggest thing that's helped me. Yes, that you've got some times where you're like, shit, my weakness probably originally was my expectations on people are too high. So like, I think you said it to me a few times, like how I would roll things out, I would expect them to do, but that's not it. The best thing that's helped me is reading someone and leading them the way they do. Like what I'm getting at here is there's some people in the team that need to be slapped directly and told exactly how it is, black and white.
Not physically slapped.
Not physically slapped. Work safe. Or some people really need just some cuddling the way that you need to kind of deliver it.
Yeah.
And that's not you being weak to deliver it. It's just reading the situation of how someone would react to it. Because some people go, oh, can you not have the tough conversation? I can now, but I know that conversation with someone being direct is not going to work for them. So the best thing that I've learned is more, how do I do it? Yes, a lot more of my day is done with people management. One thing that has also helped me is we've now got a bit more of a leadership team within the business, and those people are really helping me take time away, or training people so they're armed the right way. But now so yes, there is a lot more on people management, and business owners talk about it all the time, but it's also allowing some of your team members to help with that at the same time. So not everything has to be you. That's what I'm kind of learning.
Do you think, and I know we've both been involved in this, obviously with loan market, there's been some leadership and business sort of building, sort of programs we've been on. And it is interesting to see the different styles of leadership and the impacts they have. And there's no like perfect one really, is there? Right. So you've got, there's the authoritarian, I guess you'd say, like that sort of like you do as I say kind of thing. And some people need that direction, right? And they need that sort of guidance, because if it's not structured, then people might get a bit lost, right? And then you've got the maybe come with me sort of style leadership, right? And then do as I say or do as I do, and then obviously like the full coaching style of I sit back and watch, like I'm on the sidelines, you guys play the game. It is funny to realize how that plugs into the team and the personalities, and then and like every business owner or even every manager in a bank or whether you're working at a supermarket, you've got a team of 50 or Bunnings or whatever, people management is like by far the hardest thing, right? And if you think about even your friendship group, it takes work, right? And it's even more work because they're friends, you're not getting paid to be friends with people. But at work, you spend more time with these people than you do, your dog or in your own house. And yeah, leadership styles is a really interesting one. And I think,
but just on that though, to a bit of a degree, is like, I think what sometimes your team need to realize is I get shit wrong all the time, but some people put too much expectation on yourself that you have to get every decision right.
Yeah.
Like I've showed them sometimes too and go, look, I got that one wrong. And it's probably as a leader that you're going to go, oh, shit, I actually did get that wrong, but owning up to it shows it's more vulnerable and stuff. And I like that. And the other probably style that I am is probably more like I see with the brokers. The reason why I want to still be on the tools a bit is like do as you do kind of thing, rather than telling them to do something that you don't do yourself.
Yep.
I feel like that's a way better style for me. But it's funny you say that. Like I'm now going back like younger days of going people that you work for and how they were and how they kind of acted and what worked better. But I think the more modern days you need to adapt.
Yeah, I think it is more even environments like, and this is the reason I do this podcast, right? Because I want to talk to people who are in these positions where they're learning these lessons, and these are things yet like it's taken us. I mean, we still have mastered, but we're 10 years plus in, right? Yeah. And it takes a long time. So if there's any kind of gold that we can sort of show people that are listening, you don't have to be a business owner, you don't have to be. You could be a manager or a new manager. It is hard, and then you got working from home. You've got a whole other element that we've just been completely sort of pushed into to manage people at home and digitally, and like Slack and stuff. We're talking about Slack at the moment, like using new platforms or integrating new platforms to keep the culture of the business there, right? You got offshore as well. Offshore, yeah,
we've got 3.
How do you use, or what tech do you use, and how's that helped you sort of keep the team together when they're not all in here? And how does that glue?
Probably for the ones here, so how to keep it together. So obviously there's work from home days. Our credit team are in Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. So we have them pretty much the anchor days where I suppose are in the office. Mm-hmm. So at least they can all interact with one another. Our brokers are in and out. In terms of our VAs, so Diddy, who's in charge of our credit team, has done an awesome job training them. But so she jumps on a huddle with them every morning from 9 to 9:30 on a Google Meet, and they pretty much just have a bit of a chat. That will be moving to Slack huddle now, not a Google Meet one, but kind of just sits down, plans their days, and goes through it.
Should we get Slack as the sponsor?
It's not a bad idea.
Yeah, why not? Come on, let's go. Blow it up. Put it up there. No, it is important and something we've had to deal with as well. And it's been good because, I mean, it's the people, right? You got to have the right people and
What's
trust.
awesome about that is like our VAs, they were good, but they've never been better under the leadership of Diddy in terms of spending time to train them. So many times you hear business owner going, I tried offshore, it was shit ass, it didn't work.
Yep.
I tried it, shit ass didn't work, so it was up to me. Whereas now that we've got Diddy in charge of them, she's built out processes. They're the best they've ever been. It's because they've had the proper training now, they've been given the love, and every morning they jump on a huddle from 9 till 9:30.
Yeah. And I think that connection emphasized and structured as well is important, especially when you're not all together, right? And I don't think people have fully understood the impact of not being in the office every day, right? So it is an interesting space. And yeah, again, tech is going to help that a lot.
And like even you're talking about even here, like I like the idea that we got the hybrid. However, the days that they come in, you need to make sure they're here the same days because that's what keeps culture running.
Yeah, we've done the same thing. We've got a few days now. I mean, because we all live all over the place, obviously, and it's like you get sort of use the golden ticket. You got the golden ticket, right? You've got it till you lose it. Yeah, and we've never had to sort of implement that, but everyone's got that trust, and everyone's got that sort of, again, the golden ticket to go do what they want. And I feel like employees and people like they appreciate that, right? They don't have to earn it. It's sort of like, this is the culture you build, right? So sort of digressing a bit, at the moment, industry, mortgages, finance, cost of living, like it's everyone obviously is feeling it, right? And I'm an asset finance broker, I'm not a mortgage broker. I just the other day looked at actually we had a client come back for a balloon that was due, and I looked at the old contract and it was written at 2.49%, this car loan 5 years ago, and I was just like, whoa. And then it made me think about what everyone's going through at the moment, and people still trying to buy investments and get ahead and buy a house for the first time, all this sort of stuff. So the market pressure is immense, and I guess that's disrupted businesses everywhere, right? And everyone is still really in the pressure cooker at the moment. So we're all dealing with different levels of stress, but you as a business owner, and certainly we're at the forefront of like what everyone's sort of interested in at the moment, which is saving $1, right? So, market stress, pressures coming in from every angle as a business owner. You've got employees probably, wanting plans and pay rises and bits and pieces, like everyone's sort of feeling that. How do you handle your stress? And I'm going to ask very broad, but how do you handle it? And what do you do that keeps you sort of going when you are feeling the pinch at the moment?
Probably something I've introduced to my routine is probably a bit more exercise. I'm pretty structured on that, and I know the days that I don't do it, I feel probably more not like that's me time. So I just try to get up earlier. I get to the office, go for a run down the bike track,
have a sauna,
and then I'll have a sauna that we've set up in the office. And for me, that's my time.
Yeah.
I know that if there's sometimes in the week where I've kind of let it go, I'm actually probably more stressed, but I know that's like my de-stressor that I get up, and it's probably my time. I've done something recent that I've just turned off notifications for emails on my phone. So then I'll check it when I need to check it. When I first did it though, I was like, oh, I'll probably opening the app up more. Like anxiety of it, but little things that I'm trying to work out, where am I keep like getting agitated on, and what am I doing? So that was probably one thing I've done, but definitely making sure you spend time for yourself. And that for me, it's exercise at the moment. I know everyone's is a little bit different. And then probably managing stress is, sometimes when I know my calendar has blown out for a couple of days in terms of really busy, my Tuesday, and like I'll say, for example, is it's on the Wednesday, Thursday, I'm really busy and I'm starting to get stressed out. I'll block out the Friday morning even more, making sure I don't do anything. And it's just catch up time for me to get on top of stuff. Because I get stressed when I know that I'm not on top of it.
And I think everyone is, obviously every chapter of your life, I turned 40 last year and had this moment of like, oh crap, in 10 years time, I'm gonna be 50. And then, oh my God, like, it happens quick, right? I think as I get older, it's something I haven't mastered is exercise. Definitely, I think that's something an easy win. But yeah, like taking time and saunas are great, and I do an ice bath every morning, which is very painful and terrible, but it is the ultimate reset. And I think mental health, and I want to talk about this a little bit just before we sort of finish up, is it's a big one, and it can help. Everyone feels it, right? And I think specifically men for now, let's just say, like, I think we sort of it's a pretty wild time in the world for men's suicide and all that sort of stuff, and mental health is a huge thing that I think, yeah, it's worth talking about, right? And we have some good chats about things when we're struggling and what we do, and I think it's just good for people and listeners to hear what we do. As we've got people relying on us, right? And then not just, I don't mean just men as well, like there are everyone, business owners, managers. If you've got some responsibility and some people relying on you, you've got an obligation to deliver, right? It's good to hear what you do, and I think as well, we're lucky because we have an office near each other and we talk, right?
Yeah. And I'm on that too. Like, I think that stress is a big thing that can probably contribute to that in terms of you, like, work life, personal life. Obviously need to have a bit of a balance between the two, and probably sometimes do I switch off enough? No. And then there's time. So yeah, definitely not perfect at it. Have your good days, have your bad days. That's just normal. But probably one thing that I like to probably do with the team is, like, say for example with the brokers, yes, we want to be high performing, we want to do our stuff, but I pretty much say to them, when you're at capacity and feeling stressed, let's not take on any more clients. We can spread it from the team. It's getting them on top of it, because I know that's an iceberg that when you can kind of get too stressed, you just shut down completely as a mechanism. So one thing that I try to manage with their stress to a degree is making sure, don't take on any more. Let's get through what you've got. And that's probably one that I do check in with our team regularly around, how's your workflow? It's not because I'm not asking them how's you mentioned, like, I'm more because I know that will be the trigger. Because I know, for example, for me is when there's just a lot going on, it's about, okay, I just need an hour, work out everything is, write down what I need to do, and then I feel like I'm in a better spot. But exactly what you're saying is, we talk today, everything's all rosy, everything's fine. Like, yeah, there's good days, there's bad days, but that's just normal. It's just about how do you manage it and get on with it quickly, not get on with it quickly, but, get through that quickly
and talking about it, right? Is getting something out in a safe place. Like I think men as well, specifically, we take the piss out of each other if there's stop being a sook or whatever, and not that is changing for sure. But yeah, I think what we have is quite good, and I feel like it's something that we should share. Is that that person to talk to about anything, it doesn't have to be much, is so important, because you rewrite how it sits in your brain, I think. And a lot of things that we ponder on or worry about, you got to ask yourself, have I ever said that to anyone out loud before, right? It's a big one.
Well, like me and you might be struggling with like a business decision or something like that. And obviously we're lucky because we share an office space. Just that quick 3-minute reset of clarifying something with you, or you do it with me as well, can just go, all right, I'm in a good headspace with this. That makes sense, or blah, blah, or have I done the wrong thing with, blah, blah. And so just talking about is massive. And that's coming back to that too. So it's like, yes, we could push some people within the team or something's going on, but where I'm probably learning, get a lot better, is you don't know what someone's kind of going through at the same time. So you kind of got to, that's why I reckon situational leadership again is a lot better way to work out and going, someone could just be down because you don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
And that's why it's probably the good news, we're more aware of it these days. But yeah, I reckon I've been bad in the past where you just kind of go, swallow it up.
You struggled with sleep, right? And me too. Yeah. And we've talked about that journey, right? It's an interesting one. And as you get older too, it's so important and imperative that we get that right. And I think, we as you said, you get into your later 30s and you don't go out. You used to be able to go out on a Thursday night and bounce back pretty easily, but you do look after your mental health and your body a bit better, and that sleep is key, right?
Sleep is key, yeah. Because I've been through stages where you have some really bad sleep, or you're about to get to sleep and then you wake up and you can't switch off. But they're probably the days where you find it harder to get through the next day because sleep is key on that stuff.
Yeah.
So.
And you wake up 3 a.m. worrying about, did you turn the light switch off in the office or something ridiculous? And then you wake up in the morning and go, what the heck was I even worried about? So couple of questions to finalise, mate. Zoe, your little girl, beautiful, 2 years old now, 2 and a bit.
Nearly 2.5.
How did having a baby change your whole perspective on business and life?
Yeah, so probably now it's just maybe segmenting the difference between personal and work life. I suppose is probably trying to find that balance. But yeah, a lot more of your weekend is more happy just to spend time with her, I suppose. And recently we just started swimming lessons, which is like a good daddy daughter thing to kind of do as well. Um, but you're right, it does. I want to sort of change perspective in terms of just probably what you value more, and what's probably more important. And work isn't everything.
Yeah.
Because we do get stuck in that bubble sometimes. I've got better at it now, but I reckon there's been a lot of times where I'm just in the Jacob bubble.
I reckon Zoe's got your little sit in the corner and just ponder until she's happy with it, because she gives me nothing, mate. Absolutely zero.
I don't blame her. She hasn't.
Yeah.
You haven't cracked her yet. So
It's been 2 years. Mate.
she's a good character reader.
Yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough. Well done. All right. So driven, obviously, we've talked about some pretty cool stuff. I really hope people have got some things out of this. But my core, my passion, cars. Let's just have a little chat. All right. Not I'm saying cars equal status symbol or anything like that, but let's roll through your options, man. I'm going to only go back as far as I've known you, right? So, Jeep Cherokee Limited, Grand Cherokee.
We can go. I can tell you my first car.
Go.
Mitsubishi Magna, 1990.
How good.
Mm.
Okay. Like it's sort of the Mitsubishi Magna was like the car you draw as a 4-year-old. Literally, like, mate, it was just like standard, like not pretty, but good. Okay.
Yeah, that was my first.
Was it a V6 or 4-cylinder?
Let's say V6.
Did it make a tick? Did it go all right? Or was it a bit slow?
It was heavy and it was slow.
Did Mick Decru like that? He would like that.
Yeah, front wheel drive.
Okay. The old boy chose that for you?
Yeah, look, I don't think I would have chose that. I think it was probably based off a budget at that time.
Yeah, fair enough. Makes sense. And then we're fast forwarding to the Jeep. That's when I first met you. Okay, good, practical car.
Yeah.
Learning, small business owner.
Loved that car.
Yeah, good car. And then I feel like then I've got a bit of influence on you. Ford Raptor.
Well, you definitely do, because how did we obtain that car?
I may have bought it, had it for 3 months, was one of the first Raptors of the new model. And then I said, you need to drive this car. Good decision.
Well, that was obviously I'd known you for a little bit by then, and you'd probably already had 16 cars. And I never met a person that could order all these cars and come in. Yeah. Lucky for me is, Will ordered the Ford and the Ute, and I'm like, damn, love it. And I think you had a Tesla come at the same time. Is that right?
Yeah, that didn't go so well. We don't talk about the Tesla.
Okay.
But, yes, had that. And then Land Rover Defender V8 supercharged. Come on, mate.
Love that. That's a really good car, and that's again thanks to you. I'm probably one of those people that, yes, I like see a nice car, you like it, but then probably just wouldn't pull the trigger. So again, moving to the Ute, that was probably my most favorite car, and then now coming to the Defender is probably definitely. So I've gone to my favorite every single one, but I would be putting it down to you because of the fact that
I rubbed off on you?
I reckon I'd probably still be driving the Jeep if it wasn't for you.
There you go. I'll take that
as a compliment. No, as in I'm not just because of the fact that I don't know much about cars, but I do love a nice car, and it is a very nice car.
And it would be remiss of us not to say thank you so much to the team at Hamer Asset Finance and Loan Market Accelerate for that.
They made the process so easy. I would be going back for more.
Well, I'm glad I rubbed off on you, mate. There's plenty more fun cars to come. Mate, final question, just to close. Loan Market Connect, you won year one in a massive journey. What's the 10 years looking like? Where's Jacob in 10 years? What's the picture look like for you?
I just want a great community of brokers. And again, now I'm at a stage where we've had a bit of a growth. I want it to just grow naturally, that people, just a place of attraction for people to come and join. And it's just going to naturally grow and become something big, that brokers can plug in and do what they want to do best. Have an awesome credit team, have a really good lead management. I want real estate agents to want to come and work with us because of what we provide back, and they can start seeing what we do. But now I'm at a stage where I want this business to grow naturally from us just giving a great service.
Awesome. Details will be around if you need to get in contact with Jacob. He is the man. And, mate, thanks so much for coming on Driven. Appreciate it, buddy. Thank you.